Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to be making this video along with the 7 others that I am going to be doing. So this is a budgeting series that I'm going to be releasing videos every Friday. The first one is coming out on Friday, which is today, Friday, September 23rd, and then every Friday after that for 8 weeks at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. They will be uploaded onto my YouTube channel, which you're here, so you obviously know what that is, but if not, it's Morey June. And I will flash on the screen here in just a minute all of the different series that I'm going to, or all the different episodes that I'm going to be doing and the different topics that I'm going to be talking about. So I am super excited to be doing this with you guys. I've had a lot of questions about budgeting, so I thought doing an updated budgeting series covering a wide variety of everything from starting a budget to how to budget when you don't have enough income, splitting your bills across paychecks, grocery shopping on a budget, sinking funds, debt, the whole 9 yards. So you guys are here for episode 1, which is how to make a $0 based budget, which is the first episode of the series. So let's jump right into it. Welcome back. So the first step in any type of budgeting whatsoever is you have to know what your numbers are. And what I mean by that is you need to know what to the penny is coming in for income and what is going out for bills. And by bills, I mean everything that it takes for you to live in a month. So you want to calculate your monthly income, and that's everything, whether you are a single person, whether you're married and you have 2 incomes, or maybe you're single and have a couple different jobs. All of your income sources you want to calculate and figure out and write that down. And then same with your bills, your expenses, your cost of living, everything. Anything that leaves your account on a monthly basis, you also want to take account for, because you want to basically see where you stand. Are you in the green, which is good? That means that your bills and expenses, everything it takes to live, is less than your income. That's obviously where you want to be. Or are you in the red, which means that the income that you're bringing in is less than the expenses and bills that you have going out. And I'm going to cover that in actually episode 2, which is how to budget when you don't have enough income, because that's super scary. And honestly, that was me 5 years ago. So I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and I just wanted to share it with you guys to help you all with your budgeting and to help you get out of the red if you are in that category. So for this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to do a $0 based budget. What that means is every single dollar that comes into your account or that you receive in some sort of way on a monthly basis, every dollar has a name. That means that there's no cushion in your checking account, there's no rollover or anything. Every single dollar that month that comes in from income has a name, and it's assigned to go somewhere throughout the month, whether it's for a fixed expense like your mortgage or your car loan or phone, you know, stuff like that, or if it's a variable expense. So variable expenses are those that fluctuate throughout the month. So that would be something like utilities, you know, they're not always the same, or your gas for your vehicles, groceries, entertainment, going out to eat, stuff like that. every dollar that comes into your account has a name and it has a place to go, so that at the end of the month, you're basically, your income has paid for all of your bills and everything else, and you have $0 left over. It's kind of a scary concept when you think about it like that, but this is the budgeting system that makes you the most accountable. I currently do not budget like this, and that is a 100% disclaimer. I do not. I budget to where I write down all of my bills, and actually I'll just show you guys quick my current budget for September. I write down all of my monthly bills, so I have my income up here, my monthly bills down here. My total income this month is budgeted at $5,237.50. My bills are at $3,950. So you see there's a big variance here of a leftover amount, which I always then just put towards debt snowball, but I don't actually designate it when I set out my budget. I have that big gap there, and that money basically just sits in my account as it comes in, and then I put it towards debt snowball at the end of the month. So I'm going to start doing the zero-based budget at the beginning of the month when I set up my budget for October. So you guys will start seeing that in my budgeting videos. But this, like I said, this budgeting system makes you the most accountable because you don't have that extra cushion in there to be tempted to spend on something throughout the month. You budget what you need for. You only use that money every single month, but you can always adjust it. If you find that you are spending more on gas than what you budgeted for, then you need to up it. If you find that you're spending less on groceries than you budgeted for, then you can adjust that too. I mean, it's not set in stone. That's the great thing about budgeting, is you can always change something if something doesn't work or if a change has happened in your life. It's very versatile. So, I'm going to start out. I just have a very simple, plain budget set up here. This is the budget setup that I use every single month. So I have income at the top, and then we're going to write our expenses down here. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to say that this is just a single one income household. So like I said, there are so many different situations. Some people have one income or multiple, or you're married and you have multiple income sources. So, and then also one other thing that I wanted to say is that I don't want anybody to get too focused on the numbers that I'm writing. I'm just using these. This is not any budget. It's just one I made up. I'm just using these numbers for the sake of this video. Obviously, we all live in different parts of the world where income is higher in one area and lower in the other. Cost of living is higher in one area and lower in the other. So don't pay too much attention to the numbers. I'm just kind of doing it to show you guys how to do this zero-based budget. So we're going to start with income, and we're just going to say that our budgeted income is going to be $3,000. So that is just a single person with a one income source. So our total income for the month is then that $3,000. So next what I do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to start writing all of my expenses out. I like to start with the fixed expenses first, and then go down to the variable ones. So we're going to start with mortgage. And the amount for this one is going to be $750. And then we will have car loan. And I just chose very kind of common bills and expenses that the average person would have. You might have more, you might have less, and that is perfectly fine. Again, I'm just kind of showing you guys how to do the zero-based budget, not really focusing on the numbers themselves. So we'll say we have one credit card that's $75, a student loan that is $150, and then I'm just going to put TV for, you know, whatever kind of TV service you may have for $75. And then we have phone, whether that's a home phone, which is very uncommon, or a cell phone, for $85. And then internet for $90. Okay, so, oh, and then car insurance. Also, one thing that I am not going to list out here is health insurance or dental insurance, I guess, and or. Because the majority of jobs offer health insurance, or you should be lucky if you do get that, because health insurance is such a huge deal and it's so expensive. So I'm just assuming that this person gets health insurance, those premiums taken out of their paycheck, so this is what's left at the end of the month. If you are working in a position that health insurance is not offered, and you pay that outside, you pay it in one of these bills, that's perfectly fine too. Everyone's situation is different. I just want to say that this budget does not account for it in a monthly expense because it is accounted for in their position at work. So those are the fixed expenses for the month. Now I'm going to go into the variable. So the first one is going to be utilities, because those are very, very variable depending on the time of year it is. And we'll just say that those are $150. And then, so I'm going to do entertainment. For $50, and then out to eat for another $50. And now we're going to do kind of what I call, when I do my budgeting, is my cash envelopes. So you have gas for a month, and we're just going to say it's $400, which would be about $100 a week. Groceries, and I did $125 a week, which is $500 a month. Sinking funds. I'm not going to talk too much about sinking funds in this video. That one will be an episode further in the series. But we're just going to designate that $200 a month goes to sinking funds. And then we have, the last one that I'm going to have on here is savings. And I'm going to do $100 a month for savings. Another thing is, I'm going to assume that this person already has, or is in the process of working on their emergency savings, the $1,000, because that's really important to have. According to Dave Ramsey, you should have that before you even start paying off debt. You should have your $1,000 emergency fund. So that's what that $1,000 is going towards. Okay, so I'm going to add all of these expenses up. So we have the $750, $200, $75, $150, $75, $85, $90, $60, $150, $50, $50, $400, $500, $200, and $100. So that leaves me at $2,935. So we are $65 away from our budgeted income. Now, it would be super easy to just leave that $65 in your bank account as kind of a cushion or a just in case, or, you know, maybe something will come up. However, doing so makes it extremely easy to just spend that $65. You know, maybe you go get coffee or go out to eat or go to Target and feel like shopping in their dollar section. You know, whatever it may be, it just makes it extremely easy to spend it if it doesn't have a name. So, there are two different things that I would do here. If you are just starting out budgeting and you do not have your $1,000 emergency fund, I would put that $65 towards that savings. So instead of savings being $100, it's actually going to be $165. And then I would do that every month that I have that extra amount of money until I hit my $1,000 emergency fund, $1,000 maximum or minimum in there. That way that's said and done, it's put away for when you need it. Now say you already have your $1,000 or more savings, which is great. Then what I would do is I would put that $65 towards debt. Now I pay debt off in a debt snowball, meaning the smallest debt I pay off first. Some people do it by highest interest rate, which is actually a pretty good concept because it does save you money in the long run. But for me, I like the satisfaction of seeing what I'm paying off. So when you're paying off a larger debt, it obviously takes a lot longer to pay off than a smaller debt, and you kind of get, I don't know, maybe a little defeated because you're not really seeing the progress. But when you pay off those smaller debts first and you actually get that first one paid off, it gives you so much motivation to keep moving forward, and then you move on to the next smallest one and the next smallest one. So say for instance we had our $1,000 emergency fund and my credit card was $500 as the remaining balance and my car loan is $5,000. I'm going to put that extra $65 to that credit card for the month. That way, instead of the minimum payment being $75, it's actually going to be $140, which is going to pay off some of the interest. That way I'm not just paying just the interest for this credit card, which when you're paying the minimum payment, that's basically what you're doing. You're not making any leeway on the credit card itself, on that the balance, you're just paying the interest. So that $65 will go towards the principal of the credit card or the principal of the car loan, and you're going to pay it off faster. So that is what I would do. It just depends on your situation, whether you have your emergency fund and if you do, then move on to debt. Get those debts taken care of, because the longer you have them, obviously we know debt is not good, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. And I will not be one to judge someone at all for having debt, because I have debt myself. Sometimes things happen in life and it's just the way it is. So for the sake of this video, we are going to say that they do not have their $1,000 emergency fund saved. So that extra $65, I'm just going to put right down here, and I'm just going to put extra savings of $65. That way, that $165 is going to leave my account as soon as it enters my account, and it's not going to be sitting there being a temptation for me to spend throughout the month. It's going to go directly towards something and be taken care of. So I'm just going to add this up one more time, and we should end at $3,000. So we have the $750, $200, $75, $150, $75, $85, $90, $60, $150, $50, $50, $400, $500, $200, $100, and $65. So we end at $3,000, which is perfect because that is what our income is. So every single dollar of that $3,000 has a name, it has an assignment. $750 of it goes to mortgage, $200 goes to car loan, and so on. Now, some people may ask, like for these categories down here, like entertainment, out to eat, gas, groceries. So for those 4 categories, maybe you don't spend all of the $50 at the end of the month. You could do one of two things. You could either roll it over for the next month, or you can roll it over as income for the next month, which I would probably do that And then with gas and groceries, you know, if you find that gas maybe went down in your area and you're only spending $300 a month, well, then the next month adjust your gas budget. Maybe make it $350 or the $300, and then that extra money will not be taken out of your income, and you can use it in a different section, such as putting more towards your extra savings until you get that $1,000 emergency fund, or putting it towards your debt. So that's the great thing about a budget, is you don't just get to do it one time and then you have to stick with it and you can't ever change it. That would not make budgeting realistic at all. No one would ever be able to stick with that. Budgeting is so versatile. You can change it from month to month. You can change it from week to week. I mean, it doesn't matter. I can always come back in here and adjust something during the month if I need to. I try not to, but you can. It's just when you write it all out and you visualize it, it's so much easier to then work with the money that you have and the bills that you have, rather than not knowing exactly how much income you have coming in and not knowing how many expenses you have going out. So this is the very, very first step in budgeting, is sit down and write out your numbers. It really is the first step that you have to take. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, or if you are having a hard time getting started with a budget and you're comfortable sharing your income and expenses with me, please email me and I will definitely help you out. And I would love to even share some real life budgets on camera. You know, that would be kind of a cool video series, is taking someone's real life budget and working through it on camera once a week or so. So, you know, if you guys are interested in that, I would love to do that, because I absolutely love helping people. Because like I said, 5 years ago, I was in a lot of debt. I didn't have enough income to cover my bills, and I felt like I was drowning, and it is such a horrible feeling. Finances are just tough. So when you can get yourself out and then help others, it's a really cool feeling. So I guess I should write down my amount here at the bottom. So my total expenses were $3,000, and that is what we want to end at. Every dollar that I have has a name. If for some reason something came up in the month that was not budgeted for, that is where your emergency savings comes into play. If you don't have an emergency savings and you had something come up and you have put every single dollar that you are going to be making towards something already, then it's time you need to sell something, maybe help somebody with something, bring in some type of extra income to cover that, until you get that emergency fund saved up. But then once you do have that emergency fund, if you use something out of it because you had an unbudgeted expense come up during the month, you need to replace it right away. That's not something that you want to use and then not ever replace, because something else is going to come up and then you're going to have nothing. So you want to replace it right away. If you have it and you're then starting to pay off debt, and maybe you need new tires for your vehicle that took $500 out of it, you need to stop paying your debt off and work on getting that $500 back into that account. It's very, very important. Emergencies always happen. There's always unexpected things that happen. It's just the fact of life. So always make sure that emergency fund is at $1,000 or more before you go back to paying anything else off. So if you guys have any questions, please ask, comment down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you kind of a little bit of inspiration to start your own budget if you haven't, or maybe if you are budgeting and maybe you're not super strict with it, or not really strict, but you know, you're just more relaxed. Like, you have a budget, but you don't really stick to it. You know, this budgeting system really, really makes you accountable, and it really makes you watch what you spend, because literally every dollar has a name. You know, if I've spent my $50 for the week or for the month going out to eat, well, then I just have to cook at home, which I know is not always the funnest. I go through those phases too, but you know, that's why you have a budget. It works if you stick with it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You will have to tune in next Friday. Next Friday is how to budget when you do not have enough income, which, like I said before, is a very, very scary feeling, and it's a very scary place to be in. But millions and millions and millions of people are in that situation right now. So that will be next Friday's video. Please give this video a big thumbs up. If you're interested in any of my budgeting products, you can visit my website. It's moreyjune.com. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!